We've got somebody tonight that's the most valuable person in A.O. Williams that symbolizes a new generation of studs in this company that's going to join the old timers, and together, folks, we're going to build an empire. I'm happy tonight in the Superdome at this historic event to recognize our MVP from New Jersey, the fabulous Jimmy Meyer.
Totally blown away. I'm totally in shock. We're just so proud to be part of this company and have such a great team. Working with Joe and Bob Safford, paving the way for us with our MVP, most valuable pupil.
What a giant he was. You know, Jimmy was our MVP in 1989 of the whole A.O. Williams company. And I recently saw a presentation he made, and I thought it was so spectacular. The energy was unbelievable that I just wanted you to have a chance to study this.
You know, I'm real proud to be here, and then, you know, I sit over there and I just wonder, you know, I really get emotional because it was four and a half years ago I was in this room right here at my first Boca convention, and this is the convention that put me in the company, solidified me, because while I was here I did exactly what Greg was talking about, got to know other leaders, and I found out that we were all the same. We were scared and we were concerned, and, you know, we get excited and we get fired up, but the one thing that stands out in my mind is when I did join back in July of 1984, I was a college student. I got out of college, I went and, you know, tried to get a job, and it was really discouraging because I thought I was going to go out and make a lot of money, and unfortunately I didn't. I got a job working with my father in a newspaper. And I worked over in New York City, and I picked up newspapers. I made $17 an hour doing that. And the amazing thing was, one night a guy asked me a little simple question. He goes, "Hey, would you like to make some extra money?" And see, unfortunately, I did what most of us do. We prejudge people. I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I would like to make $1,000 a month." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, what do you got to do?" He goes, "My vice president's hiring in, you know." And I said to myself, I said, if your vice president likes you, he's going to love me. And, you know, and he goes, "I'll pick you up." And he was like, you know, a new A.O. Williams person, all fired up. I said, "You don't have to pick me up, $1,000 a month. I'll go there." And I came down to an opportunity meeting. I seen A.O. Williams, and you know, this is why I think I have a lot of excitement in this, because when I seen it, I didn't understand a lot of it. I love the example Greg just did right there. That's how we built our entire organization. People come up to me and ask me about rate cards and all kinds of stuff like that. I understand one thing about A.O. Williams. Art Williams wrote a book on it, Pushing Up People. It's all we do, okay? It's our job to push up people. And five years ago, I met a guy named Joe Enser. All he did was sell me on a guy named Bob Safford. All Bob Safford did was sell me on a guy named Art Williams. They said, "We're following in footprints. Man, if you follow in these same footprints, you can get to where they are." I sat there and said, yeah. And they said, yeah. We just did a lot of yeah and back and forth. And I went home and started telling some friends about it. And I said, I met this guy, Joe Enser. And all of a sudden, everybody thought I was a loony bird. See, because when I seen my first opportunity meeting, I got excited. I wish I could come here and tell you I got excited about investments and about life insurance, and honestly, I didn't. What I got excited about was making some money and having a chance, okay? Now, this is part of the crusade, because we have a crusade against corporate America. I think it's a shame that I graduated college after 4 years. You've all heard of Harvard, right? I didn't go there, all right? But I went to a school called Oneonta State, upstate New York. I played basketball for 4 years there, and I went out and I was excited. I was, you know, raring to go. And man, everybody looked down their nose at me. My mom and dad, all they kept saying was, "Get a real job." See, what A.O. Williams really fights is tradition. See, tradition has brought us to 70% of the people in the richest, most educated country in the world retire broke. See, I heard that in the first opportunity meeting. I said, man, that's true. See, tradition told Jim Meyer at age 22 years old to go out and get a job, work 40 years of my life, and then retire like my dad did. My dad had to move to Florida. Now, he loves Florida, but he moved down here because the cost of living's cheaper. All of a sudden, I go to an opportunity, I get excited. Man, Joe Enser encouraged me, said, "You could do this. We're looking for a new generation of heroes." I didn't know he was telling everybody that, but I was naive. So I said, yeah. I went home, they told me we'd hire school teachers. My mom's a school teacher. I went in my house like a loony bird. I had my resume when I went to my first interview. My mom goes, how'd your interview? I go, Mom, it was unbelievable. I said, man, no. And she goes, well, tell me about it. My mom, very encouraging mother. I go, Ma, I don't, and I said this, fatal mistake. I said, Ma, they're going to pay me $100,000 a year. She goes, what are you kidding? Doing what? My mom's a school teacher, 20 years, makes 30 grand, 40 grand now, excuse me. She goes, 100 grand, what do you got to do? I said, I have no idea. So you laugh. Now listen, next 6 months, it's July of 1984, next 6 months of my life went down. I mean, everybody I knew started laughing. Dad came home from work. My father got me that job at the Daily News. It was a father-son type of job. Union, tradition. I was following Dad's footprints. All of a sudden he comes home. What the heck you doing? What's this? A.L. Williams. What is this thing? Your mother just called me up, said, nervous wreck, you leaving the newspaper? I said, Dad, I'm so happy you're home, man. I'm going to help you with your financial future. He said, I've known you 23 years. You ain't touching our damn financial future. See, but there's a point to all this, okay? And I don't know what it is, but I'll figure it out as we go through this. I carried this up here with me because every speaker I ever see, they carry notes. I don't know. I just carry, so I don't have no notes. But I know one thing, what we do, a lot of people say, oh, it works. I don't know if it works, but we are going to produce 100 vice presidents in this month. And so the thing I like is it's about pushing up people. And as I was going through a point in my career, the first 3 or 4 months, every time I went to the office, all they did for me was encourage me. You heard Bo Adams, you heard Greg Fitzpatrick talk about it takes courage. Well, honestly, I wish I could come here and tell you I had a lot of courage, but I didn't. But what I had was encouraging leadership. See, I had leadership in Joe Enser and Bob Safford and Art Williams, and all they kept doing was saying, you can do it, go, man. See, all I've done is played sports my whole life. All I've ever been around is coach that kept saying, no matter how bad it looked, just keep moving on. It's like learning how to reject. Rejection. It amazed me how many people joined A.L. Williams and they look for rejection. Me, I learned how to reject it. Everybody that came around me, oh, how's it going? You get together in the summertime, I love you get to picnics and stuff. One of the first qualities, if you know you become successful in A.L. Williams, is when you walk into a picnic and people just scatter. People just, walking into family gatherings and Mom and Dad, I got to see you. What? Now, don't bring that stuff up today. Come on. Don't do. See, Thanksgiving of 1984, one of the worst days of my life. I don't come from a big family, but we all get together. And it was like the Jim Meyer roast. How you doing? Hey, how's your business? Because all I kept telling people was building a business. Oh, building this business is amazing, man. And a lot of you sit here right now and you say, oh, it's because you're young. Stop telling you that. See, age has nothing to do with it. Has to do with in here. Art Williams says it all the time. There's not a test that can tell what a man and woman has right in here. We got a 64-year-old woman who just helped her son get the senior vice president last month by making regional vice president. Age isn't the factor here. What the factor is are you rejecting rejection or not? Or are you just sitting there having pity parties? It amazes me how many people just, well, my luggage got lost. Oh, this place is nice, but, oh, man. Meetings start so early, See, man, as a leader, as a coach, we can never talk about negative stuff, in my opinion, okay? They ask me, this is all I know. I've conditioned, or at least I try to work on my head, that when my family sat there in Thanksgiving and started making fun of me, I just started thinking about 2 years from then, how sweet it was going to be. Man, and you know what? They say payback is a you-know-what, okay? See, but when they sat around, and my uncle works for AT&T, he's got a great job there. I'm not jealous of my uncle. I love him. And he used to criticize, he still does, makes fun of me. And I used to sit there and say, man, do you have something better to offer me? See, if he has something better to offer us, then I'm willing to listen. But it's a shame how many people have nothing better to offer people that are trying to get better at something, and they pick on us, and pick us apart, and tell us, you can't do that. Oh, greatest thing in my life, December of 1984, I was getting ready to get promoted to RVP. Man, I went through some hard months. My upline kept telling me, you're the best. You're amazing. My mom used to go home, you make any money yet? I was part-time. No, Ma. But they told me I'm the best, Ma, I'm the best. My mother kept saying, man, if you're the best, the company's got to be in deep trouble. See, but I learned something. I learned that, hey, the more I listened to her, the more she made sense. So I learned early on in my career to only listen to the people that were in A.L. Williams. Only listen to the people that were telling me I could do it. Every time I got around Bob Safford, he kept telling me, we need a new generation of heroes. You're the guy, come. See, I believed him. See, I joined A.L. Williams looking for the reasons it will work. So many people look at A.L. Williams and look for the reasons why it won't work. See, anybody could discourage people, but it takes a special kind of person like Art Williams and the Millers and the Bussons and all the people at the top of A.L. Williams to constantly keep encouraging people. Man, when your fellow teammates are blowing and going, so what you're not doing good right now? Get excited about somebody else's success. See, I'm a cheerleader of A.L. Williams. All I do is cheerlead. A bunch of people say in Vegas said, man, you're corny. Oh, you're a doofball. Maybe I am, I don't know. But I do know one thing, I love it. See, I love what this business is all about. I love the fact that at age 23 in December of 1984, they were going to promote me to vice president. I love the fact that I went home and told my mother and father, I'm going to go full time. And they said, you're crazy, move out of here, you little bird, what are you crazy? You're bothering the neighbors. Because, see, every time they told me not to go talk to somebody, I went and talked to them. See, it's a frustrating thing when you go, you know your best friend's car is driving down the street by you. You know it's his car. You know it's him, and you know all of a sudden you see the head drop down, like this. See, that hurts, don't it? It hurts when you walk into your best friend's house and they say, please, don't bring it up today. No, please. But see, what do most of us do? We listen to that crap. See, me, I heard Bob Buson give a talk once about being obnoxious. I said, I'm going to make it in this baby, okay? See, I didn't want to be obnoxious, but I knew one thing in my first opportunity meeting. They said 70% of the people in the richest, most educated country in the world retire broke. That's tradition. All of a sudden, always we fight tradition. And we put some principles together. We're going to talk to you about these tomorrow. They're called putting the fun back in fundamentals. This isn't, so many people take this, well, when I get it going, I'll be excited. Man, I knew I was going to be good at this thing just for the mere fact that I was having fun when I wasn't making any money. See, it's like practice. If you ever played sports, a good coach has to make practice fun. Because the guys, the second team, the second stringers won't want to show up. Man, all I want to do is be the first one there and the last one to leave. Every meeting I ever go to, I get up in the front. First one there, last one to leave. See, it's about being a good student. It's about being coachable. I love people to say, I'm coachable. I'm coachable. I am. See, if you have to tell somebody you're coachable, in my opinion, you're not coachable. See, the coach knows who's coachable. See, it's like, well, I'm going to do what. See, words, Art Williams said it last night, all the, and we got more of that probably in our heart than anything, but it comes from inside. See, it's not about, I'm going to go, it's about getting it done. I met some people by the pool yesterday, guy at the table last night, 5 months in A.L. Williams, going to be an SVP. Man, people are blowing and going. See, I love picking people's brains. See, I'm here to learn. See, but when you learn how to create interest, everyone you should get on the phone today at lunchtime. Call some of your studs at home. You'll know when the cat's away, the mice are going to play. You think they're in the office now? Make sure you let them know when you get home that they won the trip. You should see what it's going to be like. Call home and give a bunch of, it's a man. Talk to you later, gotta go. See, you can't explain this, could you? You can't, you go home and you try to, a big pink tower, man, I was on the 25th floor, man, see for Meyer. People sit there and go, I had 2 chargebacks. My best guy didn't show up last night at the op meeting. I love when you call people up when they say, don't worry, I didn't quit. You know they quit when they say that. They're out. See, I want to talk to you about being coachable. See, we believe in 4 abilities. Number 1 is coachability. Number 2 is stickability. Number 3 is compatibility. And number 4 is credibility. Those are the 4 things, in our opinion, that you need to build this business. What's coachable mean? When Art Williams calls a play, you run it. Well, I don't know if I like it. Well, it don't matter if you like it or not. You run it. I love when people say, so what do you think about the new compensation? I didn't understand the old compensation. I don't understand the new compensation. I don't spend no time figuring out because I'm not, I'm smart enough to know I ain't smart. That's a genius statement right there. Let me tell you something. I stole that one from somebody. So many people want to tell everybody how much they know. I don't know a lot, but I do know one thing. Everything that I've heard the coach say so far, And I've gone out and worked as hard. I don't do it perfect. But as Greg said, before you're going to be good, you got to be bad. Before you're going to be bad, you got to try. I try hard. I got to admit that to you. I do try hard. I like waking up early, going out, talking to people. Am I a great recruiter? No. But I get my couple here, my couple there, and I get a couple more. Do I have a biggest base? No, but I try to keep it going. I try to put out RVPs. I try to be the best I can be. I don't compete against anybody. Art Williams says you got to learn how to compete and not compare. See, man, I want to beat it. I look in that mirror. I want to beat me every week. Can I do a little more? Man, I'm getting tired. Man, as I get tired, I work harder. I love people who came in here this morning. Oh, I'm tired. I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. See, when you went to bed last night at 4 o'clock in the morning, I know what you did. You said, I got to get up at 6:30. 4, 5, 6, 6:30. Man, I'm only going to get 2.5 hours sleep. I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow. So what has happened? You are exhausted today, aren't you? See, when you go to sleep late at night, why don't you say to yourself, I'm going to take a short little nap. And when that alarm goes off, I'm going to pop out of that bed, move that window and say, good morning, jump out of bed. See, my wife hates when I open the shades in the morning. She's one of these people that, right? Me, womo, yeah, but close the blinds. Wake up, it's morning. See, now listen. See, listen now. I love people when the room's real crowded. You know, we have opportunity meetings, they get real packed, right? After the opportunity, people come and say, Jim, I got to see you. Jim, you know, there's no seats for my guests in the art meeting. We got 160 seats in the art meeting. Why are your people the ones that never get the seats? Oh, I don't know. Well, let me give you a hint. See, there's a major message to this. Being an athlete, I'm not really an athlete, but I played sports my whole life. When the coach calls practice at 3 o'clock, you do not show up at 3 o'clock. I used to show up at 1 o'clock. I had to get my ankles taped, my knee wrapped, this soaked. I get a kick out of people. Meeting starts at 9, 2 minutes to 9, you come walking in. Opportunity meeting starts at 7:30. I teach people to get there 6:45. Get them comfortable. I laugh at people. They take their new guest, they shove them into a jam-packed art meeting. Go in there, I'll see you in an hour. The guy's sitting in there like, we all do it, don't we? Then you wonder why, like, they sneak out in the middle. They're nervous. See, it's our job to make people feel comfortable. Introduce them to the speakers. See, coachability is an ability that everybody could do. But see, most of us won't. Most of us are only coachable when a coach calls a play we like. See, being coachable means being coachable whether you like the play or not. See, and listen, we ain't got a lot of time here. I don't know if I'm always coachable, but I know one thing, I always try to be. I know when Art Williams gives an AH test or whatever, I sit there and say, how could that be me? Man, he's talking to me today. The AH is the guy sitting there saying, yeah, he does mean you. Yeah, it ain't me, yeah. See, how could you get better? Because that's what I think A.O. Williams is. When my family and friends back in 1984, when I was getting ready to come full-time and they wanted to disown me, I went into the office and I said, Joe, you know, you want me to come? I'm going to be a VP, but man, it's over for me. He goes, what do you mean? I go, my parents, they don't want to, you know, they ask me to move out, which I want to move out anyway, but it stinks, you know, because I'm the baby in the family. I just wish it wasn't this way. He goes, what? Before you come full-time, I want to meet with them. I said, there ain't no way my father will kick your butt if he ever meets with you. You're the guy who's caused me to become this wild man here. He goes, I got to meet with your parents. And we had a Christmas party, December 3rd, 1984. Had it in the Wayne Manor up in Wayne, New Jersey. And it was great. I go home, I go, Mom, Dad, Joe Ent's your special guest, our Christmas party. My father, I ain't going to none of those Mooney things. You crazy? That killed me, people. See, I mean, that killed me. That hurt. See, all the crap at the Daily News, I used to give common sense books out at the Daily News. Him following me around and taking them back saying, hey, the kid's flipped, you know, don't read this thing. See, that didn't kill me. That little comment killed me. And my mom seen it. My mom came up to the room. So I'm an emotional kind of guy. I got hurt over that. Bad. And my mom came in and said, we'll go, we'll come. My dad went to that Christmas party sitting just like some of you are right now. And he's sitting there, and my mom, after about 15 minutes being at the Christmas party, she came up to me, hey, this is great. You work with like normal people. I go, she didn't say that quote, but something like that. And because I work with a lot of teachers. And they were all telling how, you know, Jimmy's doing this and he's doing that. She goes, oh, I really like this. And here's my dad. Joe comes in, hey, Frank, nice to meet you. I've heard some great things about you. See, my father's one of the greatest fathers in the world. I played basketball for 4 years in college. My first 2 years, I sat the darn bench every game he came to. After every game, he was sitting there telling me, man, you were on in warm-ups, kid. Boy, you were, man, if you just got in that game tonight, you look, and he made me feel good. You know when you sit the bench, it stinks. But he was always there, right, making me feel good. All of a sudden, I get out, all he did was put me down. And I always told Joe, me and my dad, we were real close at that point, but we started growing apart. So Joe started telling my father, he's a great salesman, you're unbelievable, Frank, and my father started loosening up. He started sitting there going, you know, Joe, I don't mean to cut you off. But the kid came home about 6 or 7 months ago, had a bunch of that material you guys give out. I gotta be honest with you, Joe, the wife was very worried. Joe, me? I knew the kid was a chip off the old block. He has what it takes to do a business like this. I'm sitting there. Now, you ever get a look from somebody like, shut up? Well, that's the kind of look I got, okay? And to make a long story short, my mom and dad wanted me to become successful. My mom and dad loved me more than most parents will ever love I'm their baby. But see, unfortunately, I went home and tried to communicate a message to somebody that I didn't know what I was talking about. See, the greatest thing for me is I try to be coachable. I work as hard as I work right now to give back to my mom and dad. I think, you know, unfortunately, my mom and father aren't together anymore. They've gotten divorced. I think that's a shame. You get married for 31 years, you might as well ride it out. It's all, you know. But I'll tell you one thing, A.L. Williams for me, greatest day of my life is the day my dad moved to Florida. He slept at our house. And he took me and my wife and walked him out to the car. We hugged him, told him I loved him. He looked me square in the eye with a tear in his eye. I said, you know what? What happened to me and your mom will never happen to you and Veronica. That company you're part of teaches you the right fundamentals. See, it's God first, family second, business third. See, being part of that means being coachable to that. I think one of the biggest mistakes most people make is when they're with their family, they're thinking about their business. See, my attitude is when you're with one, give it 100%. When you're with the other, give it 100%. When you're with the other, give it 100%. So many of us, when we're working, we're thinking about our kid. When we're with our kid, we're thinking about working. That's not fair to any of them. When we're with our guy, we're thinking about who we should be calling. Man, when you're going to do it all the way. You got to be coachable in all aspects. The second ability is being stickability. So many people join A.L. Williams and they think they're going to make it in 2 days. I was told the day I joined it's a 5-year plan. 5. Joe Encher told me you cannot make a decision on A.L. Williams until you're in it for 5 years. My 5 years, we're celebrating it right now, but me and my wife in Hawaii 3 weeks ago sat down and made a decision. We had to decide if we were going to stay in or not. We decided to stay in this baby. See, so many people decide after 3 weeks, 3 months. I hear so many people say, I'll give it 90 days, and if it works at the end of 90 days, I'll continue to do it. You can't put a time frame on when it's going to happen. My commitment was, I'm going to work this son of a gun until it goes. And then when it goes, I'm going to even work it harder. Going back to being coachable for a second. I think the higher up in A.L. Williams you get, the more coachable you got to be. I see so many people that get to RVP and they break away from their upline. Me, the higher up I get, the closer I get. The closer I am to Bob Safford, the closer I'm trying to get to Art Williams and Bob Miller and Bobby Busan, everybody. Now somebody says, well, you're a brownie. I don't think I'm a brownie. I want to get close. I want to learn. I want to be a student. And see, when you learn to stick to this baby, it's got to work. See, it's got to. If you're the right kind of person, it's got to work. A lot of people would come out and say, well, money makes people bad. No, it don't. Money makes good people better. Makes bad people worse. See, we all got to make a decision which one we are. I'm trying to be a better person. Third ability we all got to learn how to do, compatibility. You know what Williams says, 10% of people have the right to remain a bonehead, right to remain stupid. I got some guys, everybody they see, yeah, that guy was stupid. Oh, that guy's a jerk. See, every now and then we got to take a look in the mirror. See, if everybody that's around you is having a problem with you, maybe it's you. I know some people that no one likes them, but it's always everybody else. Could it be? It's like you ever been to a parade and you see the two proud parents? All the kids are marching, right? And there's one other kid totally out of line. What are the parents saying? Look at everybody, they're all beat. Everybody's off beat, but your kid's doing it perfect, right? You ever see a kid like, right? That's the way it is. Well, every now and then we got to be honest with ourselves. See, a lot of people, when they come to opportunity meetings and things, sometimes a lot of people might not like me. Because there's one thing about me, I'm honest. Anything that's in here comes out. Sometimes it get you in trouble. You know what Art Williams said? You only need 7 to 10 key people. You don't need 8,000. I don't think you can get a key person without being honest with them. Being straightforward, kneecap to kneecap. Loving on people. Encouraging people. People always say, Jim, all you do is encourage people. You know everybody ain't going to make it. Everybody might not make it. But that doesn't mean everybody can't make it. See, if a company can take somebody like me and get me and my wife where we're getting ready to go right now, hey, anybody could do this darn thing. Man, we're getting ready to produce 6, 7, 8, 10 NSDs. I don't know what all I know is one thing. I'm a lucky dude. You surround yourself with some studs, you'll be lucky too. But see, you don't find the studs when you're looking for them. You find the studs when you go through the tough times with people. You become friends with people. See, a friend's somebody that goes through the tough times with them. Most people want to go through the good times with you, but what about the bad times? See, I want somebody that reaches down when I'm on my knees, which I was many times in this baby, holding out for my last bit of air. My upline asked me to make a commitment when I joined. This is all into stickability. When you make that commitment, Jimmy, are you a man of your handshake? I said, yeah. He goes, before you quit, you come back one more time. See, if you teach people to just come back one more time and then you encourage them again, you'll get another 30 days out of them. Another 40 days. And in those 30 days, they might be able to go recruit somebody who's a stud. And then get somebody else. Being compatible means get along with people. We're A.L. Williams. What I love about A.L. Williams is you walk around and, hi, how you doing? Hi, good to see you. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. I came here 5 years ago. They had, 5 years ago in December, they had the national championship. I was a representative. I was a rep. They dropped balloons out of the ceiling with dollars and $5 in it. Man, I was rebounding. Woo! I said, this is my kind of company. Art Williams and all the international sales reps came up here with football jerseys on. All the wives were cheerleading. I was like, I can't believe it. I went home and tried to explain that to people. Oh, they're corny. What a weird bunch of people. But see, it didn't matter what they said. I liked what I saw. I love when I hear Art Williams say, hey, if you don't like what you see, don't let the door hit you on the butt. See, you can't change A.L. Williams. This is the way it's going to be. I said, man, I like it. Last ability, credibility. Coachability, stickability, compatibility, every one of you could develop that for yourself. Credibility you can't give to yourself. Who gives you credibility? Your upline does. See, everybody wants to build a team, but you know what? You'll never build a team until you're on a team. See, team, T-E-A-M, together, everybody achieves more. I love these guys that come to you and say, Jim, nobody listens to me. Well, you know why? You don't listen to anybody. See, don't expect your team to listen to you if you ain't listening to your coach. That's just the way it's going to be. See, you got to be a total role model. We're on stage 24 hours a day. We got to always be the goodwill ambassador of A.L. Williams. I hate to say this, but it's a fact, because a lot of you won't believe it. Every night before I go to sleep, I read a little principle pushing up people. See, why do I do that? I'll tell you why. Well, Greg just said, if you ever put the news on before you go to sleep, what do you hear? So-and-so got killed, so-and-so got raped. You wake up feeling like crap. You read a chapter pushing up people, and it's not a long chapter. There are only 6, 8, little principle, 8 pages. Take 8, 10 minutes. Every morning you wake up, you pop out of bed. Last night, build with quality. Talking about build with quality. So what, it might take you 4 or 5 years. So many people are too busy comparing themselves. What gave me credibility? I came to conventions like this. I got up in the front row. I was the first one there. I sat there. This is a different meeting, sitting in the front row and sitting in the last row. See, sitting in the last row, you see everybody that goes to the bathroom. Sitting in the front row, man, you don't know what's going on back there. There ain't no distractions. Man, how'd you feel when you had that big hierarchy of people? Great. You go home, you got to tell everybody, yeah, Greg Fitzpatrick picked me. Man, I'm the guy. See, you got to become excited. You know where excitement comes from? Inside. Not in the paycheck you get every week. It comes from knowing where you're going, not knowing where you were. Every one of us could sit around and worry about where we were. But do you know where you're going to be? How many know you're going to, and don't raise your hand, how many know you're going to be in Hawaii next year? Or Europe? Or on the next NSD meeting? Or at this? See, it's not bad to make a commitment out loud. But see, I learned something. The commitment I always make is not where I want to be, but where I want other people to get to. Because one thing about A.L. Williams is I would pretty much be willing to bet you, if you get somebody to win Hawaii next year, you'll win it. If you have somebody that won Boca here, you'll win it. You go out and get 3, 4, 5 people to win Bermuda next year, you'll win it. See, get other people going after it. Don't think people have never gone to work for Jim Meyer. Nobody follows Jim Meyer. You know what people follow? They follow Jim Meyer, follow Joe Enser, who follows Bob Safford, who follows Art Williams. People follow a direction. If people were going to follow Jim Meyer, they would have followed me to the Daily News. If people were going to, see, we follow Art Williams' direction, don't we? All he does is what? He rejects rejection. See, every one of us really know that we have friends and family that laugh at us. Every one of us have gone through that at one point of our career. Man, you know how good it is now to go to family gatherings? Now I'm like a wizard. They ask me questions. Jim, what do you think about the Honda Accord? Jim, what do you think? How do I know? They think I still don't. I'm still the same guy, same social security number, still the same degree from the great Oneonta State. I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know one thing. The power of praise is amazing. Making people feel good is amazing. The power of encouragement, loving on people. Man, when that guy's down in the dumps, to sit down with him one-on-one. Not behind your big old desk. Sit down, kneecap to kneecap, and talk to the guy. And start selling him what's it going to be like 30 days from now. Man, how's it going to be when you get that next thing and your next promotion? How's it going to be when you go to Bermuda next year and 1,000 people there clapping for you? And man, you're the top guy. How would it be when you sit with Art and Angela? What do most of us want to talk about? What do most of our downline want to talk about? What isn't happening? As a leader, we've got to learn to talk about what is happening. We've decided to put the fun in fundamentals. We broke it into six principles, and I think they're excellent principles. They're what we built our hierarchy on. We're going to talk about them tomorrow. See, we believe in an attitude that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. See, it don't matter you teaching people all this junk. What matters is they know they can count on you. That when they're down, hurting, you're going to put your hand out and pull them back up. See, I love the fact in A.O. Williams, I've only been here 5 years, that in those 5 years, we've built an office. 5 of us. We all graduated high school together. See, 5 years ago, 4 of those guys laughed at me. 1 of them joined. This guy, 6 years in college, he was a sophomore. He wasn't picking up too well. Showed him A.O. Williams, only guy I knew that listened to me. Couldn't shake him at A.O. Williams with a stick. His name's Carrie Ginsberg. His hierarchy does, in March, he did over $400,000 in premium. He's going to bust 100 RVPs this month. See, the thing is, though, he was the only one I had. There's one thing about being a coach. Don't look for other people. The ones you got are the best ones you got. Treat them that way. Man, get excited about it. As soon as he started making some money, you know what happened? All my other buddies started saying, Carrie's doing it? What? What? Can I join? I don't know. I ain't hiring. Carrie hired all the guys. You know how tough it was? But see, there's a 5-letter word, ladies and gentlemen, stand between more men and women and millions of dollars. P-R-I-D-E. We all got it, but we got to swallow it. We all try to be the best you can be. It don't matter what the guy next to you does. It matters what you do. I think it's that burning inside, that clear, concise mental picture of knowing where you want to be. I've known I got up here and rambled for the last 20 minutes, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to get better. I do know one thing. It was only 5 years ago I sat out here. And Art Williams, we were the #1 sales leader in the whole company 5 years ago. And Art Williams asked me to come up here and speak for 2 minutes. And man, you think I rambled today? You should have seen me that day. I said, stop doing man. And Art Williams came up to me and said, man, you're a leader. You're amazing. Man, you're good. And I said, yeah. Yeah. And I said, yeah, I think I am. And I went home, I said, I spoke to 1,000 people. My mom's an English teacher. She said, you spoke, what the heck did you talk to them about? She said a few different things, Mom, about building their company. She goes, this company's crazy. But my mom's the same woman. 2.5 years ago, I took down to Atlanta, and we got a picture taken with President Reagan. It's the same woman that after that picture was taken, had tears in her eyes. And she was sitting there with Joe Enser and Bob Safford And she says, man, I love him. I'm so proud of my son. And both of those gentlemen said, if you're so proud of your son, go show him. Go tell him. And like most people, she said, well, I don't want to embarrass him. Showing love, showing affection is not an embarrassment. See, and they walked her over to me, and she put a hug on me and said, man, I love you. And like a jerk, I said, Ma, if I would have listened to you 2 years ago, whatever it was, today would have never happened. And my mother's one of the sharpest women I know besides my wife. She looked at me and said, Jimmy, if you didn't come home and start yapping 2 years ago, this day would have happened a lot sooner. See, listen, every one of us know where we want to be. Take some time to yourself for the next day or so. Get to know people you don't know. A.O. Williams is about building long-term friendships. Real, live, true friendships. See, a friend, most people live their whole life. And they end up with 1 or 2 friends. And A.O. Williams, you could have thousands of them. You know why? We're willing to go through the fight together. This is a business of going through a war. And the war is on. Art Williams wants 2,500 RVPs a month. How many of them are you going to produce? I am the luckiest guy in the world. Me and my wife have married 1.5 years now. We've grown up in A.O. Williams. I met her 3 weeks after I joined A.O. Williams. She asked me what I did. A.O. Williams. Who? I wasn't positive. I wasn't forceful about it. But as the year, she said, who's that? I said, I'm a financial planner. She said, oh, you? But I'll tell you this. Because of the foundation Art Williams has put in, he's given every single one of us a chance to do something great. And I think every one of us could ask for is that chance. But see, we are the future heroes in A.O. Williams. You, the most important person in the world, is the man or woman sitting in your seat right now. Not the person next to you, but the people that do it big are the ones that start looking at themselves that way. There ain't a person in this room better than another individual. We are all the same. Some of us will do some more. Because when the fight gets dirty, some of us are going to wallow and have a pity party. And the ones that keep blowing and going are not going to ever look at the crap. They're going to constantly keep looking at where they're going. And as Greg said so well, and Bo said so well, Bo talked about the stairs. All it is one step at a time. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. God bless you, and hopefully I helped you today.